condition. Now, while objectophilia is not classified as a mental disorder, some experts believe it could be linked to autism spectrum traits, past trauma, unique neurological wiring that causes deep attachments to objects rather than people. However, many objectophilias insist their love is as real and valid as any human relationship. It's like that one girl at band camp who stuck a flute in a pussy. Has anyone ever stuck a musical instrument into their pussy or their ass, or sucked on it, or maybe like when your friend's not looking, you'll lick his reed? Let me know. And this brings me to my next thing is, what's the one where people are in love with trees? You ever hear that? Dendrophiliac. That's what it is. All right, Petey, look this up real quick. Humans that have sex with trees. It's a dendrophilia. Dendrophilia is a term for people who experience sexual arousal or attraction towards trees. This can involve physical interaction with trees, such as caressing, hugging, or even using tree-related objects for sexual pleasures. Like you take like the knot of a tree, or maybe like a freshly shaved tree, you know? Maybe like you carve a little hole, and you fill that hole with moss, and then you fucking stick your dick inside it. Some individuals find the texture, scent, or symbolic aspects of trees erotic or comforting. Like a hole moss. It's like the glory hole. It's like a natural glory hole. Ecosexuality is a broader love and sensuality towards nature. So then, you have dendrophiliacs, which is specifically tree fuckers. And then you have ecosexuals. People are now identifying as ecosexuals, where they view nature as a lover rather than just their environment. So the very ground that you step on is potentially a pussy that one of these ecosexuals are trying to fuck. Now, you don't want to step in front of someone's pussy and cock block them, But if you're standing between, like, you don't even know what an ecosexual looks like, Let me see what does an ecosexual look like, so we can spot one in the wild, Because maybe it says there's no single way an ecosexual looks. Ecosexuality is more of an identity and a lifestyle rather than a specific appearance. However, many ecosexuals incorporate nature into their clothing, behavior, and aesthetic. Here are some characteristics of possible ecosexuals. Alright? If you know somebody, or if you see somebody out in the distance wearing earthy tones, like greens, browns, or floral patterns, they may be a tree fucker. Using natural fabrics, such as linen, hemp, or cotton, could be a tree fucker. Adorning themselves with flowers, leaves, or vines in their hair. So if you put a little flower behind your ear, you may really be trying to tell people that you want to stick it in your pussy. Wearing jewelry made from wood, stones, or shells. So if you're a beachcomber, you got the sandy vagine, or the butt crack stack. But the connection to nature in the appearance factor is going to look natural. Even barefoot. So if you see a barefooted Billy running around, most likely he's a tree fucker. Some ecosexuals express their identity through body paint or tattoos depicting tree fucking. They might participate in ecosexual ceremonies, wearing ceremonial or artistic outfits inspired by nature. Wow, so they already have ecosexual ceremonies for these tree fuckers? That's amazing. Activists in this movement sometimes wear wedding dresses made of leaves, moss, or biodegradable materials when staging weddings to nature. So if you see some biodegradable bitch walking around barefooted with a flower behind her ear, she's sitting on some knots, you know? She's taking a branch, you know. But that's fine. Performance artists promoting ecosexuality like Annie Sprinkle and Beth Stevens. I've never heard of these people, but they've worn elaborate costumes, allegedly incorporating flowers and leaves, and even mud as part of their performances. Some may embrace a more bohemian or hippie aesthetic. Alright. So be on the lookout. Now you know what ecosexuals look like. So if you find one, you know, take a picture of it maybe. Send me an email of what you think an ecosexual looks like a tree fucker, you know? But these people aren't to be like afraid of or like made to feel weird. This is just, you know, one part of human psychology that people fall in love with, you know? They fall, and the trees are alive. So it's not like necrophiliacs. Oh my god. I forgot about that till just now. Why are people necrophilia? So, necrophilia, for those who don't know, is illegal, I think, in most places. Or maybe it's just heavily frowned upon. I don't know. But it's a sexual attraction to corpses, and it's rare, and it's extreme paraphilia that has been studied in psychology and criminology. So it's criminal. You know, there's that's because they have homicidal necrophiliacs. You know, like you know, it's not like your everyday regular necrophiliac that just like stumbles upon a dead body. You know, they didn't create the dead body, but they found it, and then they jerked off on it. You can't do that. That's contaminating a crime scene. There's fantasy ones, like, you know. See, that makes more sense. Fantasy, there's leeway, you know. You can pretty much tell me anything, you know, as long as it's fantasy, you know, to a point, you know. Everything's to a point. Come on, guys. We're not talking ridiculous here. But, you know what I'm saying. But, yeah, there's homicidal necrophiles, regular necrophiles, and fantasy necrophiles. So the homicidal ones, they kill to obtain the corpse for sexual purposes, you know, like a Ted Bundy. The regular necrophiles seek out already dead bodies, like in morgues and cemeteries and funeral homes. That's the one where it's like the accidental death. You know, like, it's like when you, like, you know, are from the South and you find roadkill and you bring it home, you cook it up and eat it. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, you can't do that with the person, you know. But that's what a regular necrophile is just like an opportunist, you know? Like, he's not out there searching for it, but if he comes across it, he's going to come on it. Then there's the fantasy one, where they just have thoughts, where you engage in role play. Now, if you have fantasy thoughts about necrophilia, you know, don't get too upset or alarmed, because they're just fantasies. Now, it's like, is marijuana a gateway drug? I don't know. But is fantasy necrophilia a gateway to becoming a regular necrophile? I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't even touch it. You know? Maybe that's just something to listen to me talk about. And for you not to worry about. But then again, to each his own. You know? But those are sexual urges. And that comes from a fear of rejection. You know? And total control. And attachment from death. You know? Where you don't think death is the end. Like in the movie Hook. Captain Hook tells Peter Pan, death is the next adventure, is the only adventure, in Neverland. So, and then it's just like, what's his name? Dahmer. He liked to lobotomize his victims because he wanted that total control. And then fear of rejection, I feel like we all have that, So sometimes necrophiles are drawn to corpses because they are unresponsive and unable to reject or resist. This can stem from deep insecurities or social anxieties. That's why there's rapers out there, I think. That's what it sounds like. There's deviancies, and now, what? So, oh my gosh. So, okay. Is necrophilia a mental disorder? And it says it is not officially classified as a mental illness, but it is recognized. What the fuck? In legal terms, it is criminalized in most countries, considered a form of abuse. Where is necrophilia legal? It is illegal in most countries, as it is considered a form of desecration, abuse, and sexual assault. But most countries have laws explicitly criminalizing it. The United States is illegal in almost every state. What? In almost every state? That means there's some states where it's legal to dead fuck somebody. The UK, it's illegal. You get 2 years in jail if you come on a dead person. In Canada, it's illegal. Criminal code, that's all it says. Australia, the crimes, it's criminal. Germany, France, Italy, and most of Europe, generally outlawed under laws against corpse desecration. Now, there are countries or regions with legal gray areas. Some places do not have specific laws against it. Like New Mexico, one of the few U.S. states that does not have any laws against it. So you have New Mexico, India, Russia, and Greece. Those are the 5 places. Did I say 5? I meant 4. Those are the 4 places in the world you're allowed to fuck dead people. Is Greece, Russia, India, or New Mexico. Wow. That's crazy. I've never been to New Mexico, never been to India, never been to Russia. I did go to Greece, but I didn't have sex with any dead people. I didn't even see any dead people. But that's crazy. My goodness. Alright, so if you ever, because I remember growing up on the street. I mean, I'm not growing up on the street, but I remember growing up as a kid, and on the street you always heard about, little tall tales, little whispers of, kind of like of a necrophile maybe, or just like just like a weirdness, kind of like, I don't know. But anyways, if you ever encountered one of those in the wild, let me know. I never talked to one, but I wonder what, it'd be interesting to find out, like, what happened. Because every necrophile is different, as far as what made them become that. I wonder what their gateway was. But, But anyways, so this is episode 2. And this is a great way to end it. Alright, well, yeah. If you have any concerns, I don't know. I asked some questions. So if you have any answers or just want to say what's up, go to Echoes and Escapades fan mail at gmail.com and let me know what the deal is. Alright, everyone, have a great day. And thank you for listening. Yo, and always, I just want to give a special thanks to Tom Green. He's the man. Alright, be well, everyone.